Hi, I'm Joe Tristan. I'm the head water polo coach here at Penn State Behrend College, and we've been doing some interviews with a lot of our alums. And today we have Dr. Steve Schleicher coming aboard, and here we are. How you doing, Steve?
Hello. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How's everything going right now?
Pretty well, pretty crazy
Yeah,
with everything that's going on at the moment, but overall, things are going pretty well.
good, good. Now, Steve, if I'm correct, you graduated in 2005,
2006, actually.
2006. So, yeah, it kind of all runs together sometimes, trying to remember who graduated when, and especially when you've been at Behrend for 17 years like me. So, and whatnot.
I know. I was thinking about it. Yeah, it's been 14 years since I graduated already. It seems crazy.
So, in that time, what have you been doing?
Um, Keeping pretty busy. Right after I graduated, I enrolled in physical therapy school down again. So I spent 3 years down there earning my doctorate in physical therapy degree. And then and since then, I graduated there in 2009, and I've worked at a rural hospital in Wellsville, New York for about 2 years.
Okay.
And then I've been back in the general Erie area for since then, working at a couple different either skilled nursing homes or assisted living facilities.
Okay. Very good.
Um,
So
and
you,
then about a little over 9 years ago, or just coming up on 9 years, I got married and I have two kids now. I have a 7.5-year-old boy and a 5.5-year-old girl. So
okay.
they're in kindergarten and first grade now, which is pretty crazy also.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I have two kids of my own, and yeah, they grow fast. You're trying to keep up with,
Yes, absolutely.
and it's too bad you weren't this small again. And
Yeah,
um,
they're a lot harder to pick up and carry around now, that's for
yeah.
sure.
Um, and so you have your doctorate of physical therapy,
Correct.
correct?
Yeah, it was
Uh,
a 3 year post-bachelor program at Gannon.
so how did Penn State Behrend prepare you for getting going into your doctorate of physical therapy, as well as prepare you for the real world after you got your DTP?
Well, when I enrolled in Behrend, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't really have a clue, other than I was certainly interested in the sciences in general and, possibly healthcare, but I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So I ended up majoring just in general biology, um, which is actually the degree I ended up with when I graduated. Um, but with all the background that I got, certainly in biology, that really opened up a lot of the possible windows that I would have been able to follow through. Obviously, I ended up, going to physical therapy school where obviously a Bachelor of Science was a prerequisite, but it turned out I was able to complete all of the prerequisite courses at Behrend. I didn't have to, take any summer classes beforehand or take a year off to um, fill out, my curriculum with any other courses that might have been necessary to actually get into therapy school. So I was able to transition right from Behrend right to the postgraduate program, which made things really easy. And any less classes that I had to take was good.
Right.
Um, and then as far as just moving forward into the real world with the staff and the teachers at Behrend, almost very few of them I found, at least in the science department while I was there, were just professional teachers. All of them worked out in the real world in a variety of settings, and they brought a lot of that real world experience, to the classroom. So it wasn't just rote book learning. A lot of it was, here's the information, and here's how the information can be used, in the real world, whether it's in, the research setting or, in my case, it transitioned very well towards the healthcare setting as well.
Okay. So it sounds like Barron did a lot of great things for you, from the faculty to the program itself, to keep
Absolutely.
smoothly moving forward into where you're at today. So water polo wise, are you doing anything with water polo now, or are you officially retired from water polo?
Well, I was retired pretty much the day after our last game. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. I did come and join in the alumni water polo game, which was quite a blast. But I was definitely not prepared to make any return from my retirement. But it was
3 days, right?
that was a great event to get together and reminisce with fellow teammates and obviously more recent graduates about their experiences with the program. It was great to get back in the water a little bit, but I'm definitely not ready for any sort of meaningful return.
Um, so tell me, how did water polo in and of itself help you and prepare you for your job today and the real world, and even your PhD, your DPT program and whatnot?
Water polo was a fantastic outlet for me even since high school. I was lucky enough that my high school in Erie here at McDowell had a water polo program, which kind of got me started on this whole pathway. But even once getting to Behrend and just the teamwork and just being around other other athletes that wanted to work hard and play the game and enjoy the game just like I did was fantastic. And as opposed to locally, where there was a relatively small circle of um, kids at the time that played water polo, bringing in so many different people from different parts of the country. Obviously, when just in the short time that I was there, we had people from Florida and California and Michigan and whoever else knows all over the country. And I'm sure you've been pulling in kids from all over the place even since then. So being able to meet and talk to, interact with other like-minded kids from all over the country was great. And then just learning to learn and learn to work and live and play together as a team certainly is a wonderful life skill, because none of us really work in a bubble except for the last few months here. Um, you know, my job in therapy, even though I am a physical therapist, I have several physical therapy assistants that work with me, as well as in our nursing home setting, we have occupational therapists and speech therapists and respiratory therapists, and then the nursing staff. So my whole day to day job is working and interacting with 6, 8, 10 other professions as well as the actual clients. So being able to interact and work together with everybody and working towards a common goal, which in my case now is working towards getting our residents healthy so they can get back home, or previously working in a game so we could try and put the ball in the net a little more often than the other team.
Right. So, you played 4 years here, 2 years with me, I think, or
3 years with you.
3 years with me. I believe you were number 2 on the assist list for us. You're still on there. You're number 9 now. A lot of
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a lot of the let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys ahead of you that were pretty much over the last 5 to 6 years, 7 years of playing.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's a pretty good company to be a part of. Still being on that list, today, and number 9 is an all-time career list. Are there any memorable moments that come to mind, from your playing days here?
I was trying to think about that a lot today, to be honest, and I don't know how many moments really stick out individually. As just mentioned, I was, and I did have quite a few assists when I was there. As I recall, I had quite a few kickouts also, being a 2-meter defender. So I wasn't much of an offensive player by comparison. I was certainly more of a defender. But one specific instance, I'm not sure if it was my junior or my senior year at Division III championships. I ended up scoring an overtime game-winning goal, and that was probably one of the more exciting highlights of my career. It was, I don't know, it was real late in overtime. We had been playing, seemed like forever. It was real late at night. And I remember just putting just a stupid lob shot, ended up going up over the goalie's hands and dropping in. And I remember Spoto yelling at me because he was wide open on the other side, wanting me to pass it to him. But I was lucky enough it cleared the goalie's hand and snuck under the bar for me.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because that was the one that I remembered. I was just, I was like, do you remember that overtime goal game winner you put in? And I think we were all
Absolutely.
yelling like, Spoto's on the other side, Spoto's on the other side. Look,
Hmm.
because he was wide open. It was an easy cross pass. And, it was one of those where, the ball left your hand and it was like, okay, it said good. We win.
Right.
Um,
That's it. We
you
can be
know,
done now.
but
But it's, I mean, that's certainly the biggest in-game highlight that I remember. But even other than that, it's just all the time we spent together just as a team, not just with training at the pool, but also all the travel and all the places I got to travel because of being on the water polo team and also the swim team
yeah,
by extension. But getting to go to all kinds of cool places like Princeton and MIT and Navy and Johns Hopkins, and then my senior year when we went out to Redlands for their Division III tournament, that was
yeah,
quite a highlight just to my career in general. Just being able to travel to all those really cool places and
yeah.
it was some wonderful experiences
And
there.
my wife mentioning that your parents used to always ride the Harleys to a lot of our games.
Yes, yes, they did. They love. Well, my dad specifically, and my mom has joined in as well. They ride their motorcycles all over the place,
Yep.
especially to those earlier fall games. Once it started to get a little too cold, though, they tended to put the bikes away for the winter.
Yep. So, but yeah, those were a lot of great, great times that we had. I mean, I remember at championships, and it might have been your junior or senior year. I'm not 100%. It was at Princeton, and we were just coming up short every game, but we played Gannon. I think all year we had played Gannon that year, and we lost by 10 or 15, and we got to championships at Princeton, and it was a game all the way down to the wire. I think we ended up losing by one or two. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
just stepped up completely. And and then the next game we played, and again it was like a 2 or 3 point game, and but unfortunately we just couldn't get past that hurdle.
I know
Um,
that was
and
one of my big regrets of my polo career is one of those times not taking one of those games from Gannon because there was a handful of them over the 4 years that we could have taken.
yep,
I
yep,
think that might have been my junior year because my senior year, I think championships was down at Navy, if I recall.
yeah, that might have been your junior, and ever since then, we've since from that, this whole time that I've been here, we've had some games with Gannon where it's just literally, we've gone into overtime with them. We've just lost by one. It's just one of those. Gannon just seemed to be the game we can put together.
Mm,
This year we had a great year. We beat Iona at home. We had some really good games across the board, and but Gannon just didn't seem to be the game that we could put together. So we're hoping that this year might be a year where we can put it all together and get one from Gannon,
yeah, absolutely.
and whatnot. So,
Well, it seems like in general with the program every year, it seemed to be building and building, and obviously with your recruiting efforts and bringing a lot of really good players from all over the country. Said it's great to come out and see. I've made a couple trips out on the when you've had home games over the weekends that I've been able to sneak away and come up and see you.
yeah,
Um, Unfortunately, sometimes my schedule doesn't quite align with that, but
yeah,
I
cool.
certainly look forward to coming out again this fall to check out a gamer.
But yeah, we would love to have you out and a part of our, just to say hello to the guys and just kind of, because we do have a lot of guys that have an interest in the medical field. You know,
Mhm.
I know Hassan who graduated a couple of years. He's off in med school. A lot of our girls, female players are, they're looking at med school or nursing or something like that. And you could be a good component to them in that respect of just saying, hey, this is what you need to do, and this is how we can move forward. If you're looking at physical therapy, this program here will definitely help out. You're a local guy, and I know that you a lot of your friends from McDowell and Prep and that used to play at Gannon or with us. Do you still keep in touch with a lot of guys from Behrend?
Um, not not directly. A lot of what happens is especially during the summer, while I was in high school and college, I was a lifeguard down at Presque Isle. So during the summers when we go down with the kids, a lot of times I'll stop at lifeguard headquarters to visit down there, and there invariably is someone from the swimming and water polo community around there. I said whether it was my teammates or some of our competitors from Gannon or Mercyhurst or locally, a lot of Prep and McDowell kids work down there during the summer. So I keep in touch a little bit with some of them. Um, and then certainly the last couple of years, I've been trying to come to the various swimming and polo alumni events
Right.
because that's been a great way to catch up with a lot of people all at one time.
Oh, good. Well, Steve, appreciate you taking your time, taking some time to just talk a little bit with me, and it's great seeing you again and whatnot. Keep up the great work with everything you're doing. This is kind of one of the things that makes helps our program, but also is one of the great things that is part of what we do in life. Is just we have people like you helping out in the healthcare facilities and whatnot, and you're a big part of what of getting past what we have today, and whatnot. So thank you very much for all your efforts that you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank
Forward.
you very much.
So I'm Joe Tristan, head water polo coach at Penn State Behrend. I'm here with Dr. Steve Schleicher. Thank you again, Steve, and you have a great night.
Thank you very much. You too.